Spirits who are in pain often can't let go of the material world. They haven't found peace and are doomed, stuck in limbo, and showing up as uninvited guests.
Paranormal survivor, Dana's deadly crush. Interview with Dana Hinckley, take 1. Marking.
That day we were at Mickey's father's funeral. He had come home. I felt withdrawn, sad, very emotional.
When we got back to the house for my dad's funeral, I was, feeling a little bit upset, overwhelmed, and we were just sitting at the kitchen table. It was a long couple days,
I heard a noise, and when I looked up, in the window I saw a face of a man. Looked like death.
What's wrong? She goes, "Oh my God, it's behind you." And I turn around and, I didn't see anything.
Where?
And she's like, it's right there. Like, you don't see that. I'm like, no, I don't see it.
You can't see him? I'm sorry, sweetheart, I don't see anybody.
You could tell by the look of fright. She was visibly, scared.
Come here.
And then, it obviously just disappeared and it was gone. She was frightened, shaken.
It was actually really creepy. Who is this person, and what are they doing here, and why can't Mickey see him? And at that point, I knew that this had to be a ghost, but why is he here?
And then I'm thinking, well, maybe we were at the cemetery, something bad following us back.
The second time that I saw the ghost, he was up in the hallway. I happened to go upstairs to brush my teeth, get ready for bed. He was just standing there, reaching out for me.
Dana Hinckley had twice seen a terrifying apparition in her home, and shockingly, the haunting would soon escalate.
And he had blood coming from his mouth on both sides. It was very scary. Didn't know what it was, didn't know what he wanted. That was the most scariest part, that I didn't know what he wanted.
I could just tell by talking to her, see it in her face, that she was stressed out about this.
I didn't want to go anywhere, I didn't want to do anything. I just wanted to sleep, and I couldn't sleep.
The now daily ghost sightings were taking a toll on Dana and Mike.
He's right there.
Where is?
Right there. He's right there.
He's right here? He's in front of me right now?
The ghost said that he knew him. He used to tell Mercury and Mike just to be quiet.
You tell Mercury Mike to be quiet.
Where's what?
Just called you Mercury Mike.
And he said, "How did you know that name?" And I said, "I didn't know that name."
How does he know that?
When she told me that, I was floored, because Mercury Mike was a high school nickname that only 2 other people knew about. Dana, had no idea that anybody ever called me that.
There's only 2 people in the entire world that know that name.
Mickey got the nickname Mercury Mike. It was a high school prank, actually. He was in the science lab, and there was mercury that was spilled, and the fire alarm went off. How would a ghost know something like this? How would he know about our personal lives?
That chilling encounter left Dana and Mike with more questions than answers, and an overwhelming sense of dread.
I had a lot of anxiety. I couldn't eat. It was just very stressful. It just drained me. Like I felt like I was sick. Like it was something that took over my body.
And it was about to get even worse for Dana.
We were sleeping. Everything was quiet. When I first opened my eyes, I didn't see anything, but I heard the footsteps. And then I heard the door creak. And then when he walked in, he was sitting at the end of my bed. I was really scared.
You're beautiful.
He just kept telling me that I was beautiful and that he needed my energy and to please help him, that he was not going to hurt me. I woke Mickey.
What's going on?
And I said, this man is touching me. And he's like, what do you mean he's touching you? And I said, he's touching me.
She was like pale looking, scared, you know, hands trembling, you know what I mean? You could tell that whatever was there was scary, was real, and had an impact on her. I actually felt bad because, you know, I believe everything she was telling me, but, you know, I can't see it, and I can't do anything to help.
I didn't know what was happening to me and why this was happening to me. But it scared me.
At that point, I'm like, you know what? This is insane. It's crazy. And I said, you know, let's reach out. I had a friend that was involved in paranormal stuff. So I said, you know, let me put a phone call out to my friend.
I'm a paranormal resolution expert. That's somebody who goes into a haunted location and brings in resources to attempt to identify what's causing the activity and then to come up with a game plan to resolve that activity. Over the past 15 years, I've worked hundreds of cases and worked with hundreds of clients.
Mark brought in psychic medium Virginia Centrillo to help out.
When I first arrived at the property, there was something that was disturbing to me. I couldn't understand what this energy was, and I realized there was a gentleman standing behind her. He was staring at me with a stare that he can see right through me, which kind of stopped my heart.
While Virginia walked through the home, Mark and his fellow investigator Joe set up in the master bedroom.
And we heard this weird hum that started in there. It sounded like it was right on top of us. Neither of us were making any noise, but this very distinctive hum had entered into the room.
The humming and whistling was coming through the whole house.
I heard some humming noises, some whistling noises. It was creepy, it was eerie.
When I was doing the walkthrough, this spirit was behind Dana. But he would throw a whistle or hum to another side of the house. It was very unusual, almost very childlike, like playing hide and seek. I had had to really be creative on how I was going to handle this particular spirit, because he was determined to stay where he was and stay attached to Dana.
Quite often we sit in a circle to help build energy within the circle. Virginia calls on angels to help her connect with those people on the other side that she needs to speak with.
With plans to cross the spirit to the other side, Virginia learned some vital information about him.
He was letting me know that he was a user of very intense drugs. I felt this gentleman hurt himself somehow by overdosing on drugs by accident.
Some spirits might be afraid to cross over because they may have guilt or they might have fear of retribution on the other side.
Anybody who's sinned, anybody who's afraid of judgment, anybody who's experienced hardship or hurt sometimes stay instead of choosing to cross over out of fear.
He's here.
I started to realize that Dana reminded him of someone. I believe an ex-girlfriend. And he would not get it out of his mind that this was not his girlfriend.
Virginia explained it to me that it probably became fixed on Dana because it was probably crying out for help.
So I had to come up with my team with some sort of way of removing him away from her. I asked Dana to go into the other room.
You better leave.
No! As she was going in the other room, one of our investigators was speaking to him.
There were drugs. What kind of drugs were they? No!
But the questions threatened the spirit.
And he kept saying, see that big guy there? He thinks he's something else.
I think he was afraid of Joe because I think that he knew that Joe was going to help me.
Joe was jolted in his seat.
Joe! I'll kill you!
After being fixated onto by a ghost, Dana Hinckley called in paranormal investigator Mark Keyes and psychic medium Virginia Centrillo. What they found was a spirit who felt no hesitation in resorting to violence.
Joe! I'll kill you! Joe.
It was like he got punched in the stomach.
Okay.
It was just so scary because obviously if it's, willing and it's able to push or shove, someone like Joe, who knows what it could do, especially with Dana. It could have been disastrous.
I think that he was trying to let Joe know that he was the dominant guy there, that Joe had come to try to remove him, and that wasn't going to happen.
So I started to realize not only do we have this gentleman, but his addiction that we have to cut off of him in order for him to go into the light. We decided that we would send him love and light and just concentrate on him being well. And as my teammates were working on that and focusing on that, I was working with that other energy of that drug. I actually saw it being pulled from his back, that drug energy. And once we did that, he became softer. His facial expressions actually changed. We start to realize he's starting to understand.
Please.
There was a female energy, an older energy, that was reaching out for him saying, it's okay, come with me.
Virginia had said she witnessed this person through her vision go. The house felt immediately calmer.
I felt a sigh of relief that the ghost was gone, that it wasn't going to bother me anymore.
Knowing the spirit was finally gone, it was a big relief. You know, all the anxiety and all the stress that we've been dealing with for months, it was finally over.
The ghost has changed my life because I know that they're out there. They're real, and they can touch you. But I know through my faith, the faith is stronger than any ghost.